In this video, I'm going to walk you through step by step exactly what I would do to get to $15,000 a month ASAP if I had to start all over again. And the goal here is to figure out how can we take your skills, your talents, your passions, the things that you already know, you enjoy, you're good at, and turn that into a income generating business online. Now, all of the 7-figure companies that I work with use this exact same method. And the reason I'm making this video is just because there's a lot of noise out there online about different ways to make money, right? You could do e-commerce, you could get into trading, you could do all these different things. Really quick, if you don't already, my name is Brice, and I have been working in this online world for nearly a decade. So born in Texas, I live in Barcelona now. I've lived in 7 different cities in between that. And every time I've moved, I just take my computer with me and I just keep working online. And so I sell digital products and I help my clients sell digital products. That's what I've done. And what's worked really well for me, what I'm going to explain and walk you through in this video is how I basically provide like a mix of done-for-you services and consulting. So some people want me to help them do stuff and I just help them do things. And other people want me to just show them how I do that stuff for the other people. And so they pay me to show them how to do that. But just to show you, this isn't something that like I came up with all on my own. And let me show you really quickly this article. That is pretty cool. So this is the launch plan that Elon Musk wrote out in 2006 when he was taking over Tesla. And what you see down here is like he had this master plan. So their master plan was he was going to start by building the sports car. So he's going to build the most expensive version of what they wanted to sell first. And they didn't actually have that car built. So they took orders for it and they pre-sold that car. And then once they got enough orders for it and they had enough cash, they invested that money into actually building the sports car. Once they had the sports car and they were selling the most expensive version, then they used that money to build a more affordable car. So then they used that money in order to build the next version of the Tesla. And then they used that money to launch their most affordable version that a lot of people can drive around today. But the important thing here is like what Elon understood here and what I have just seen is the tried and true way to get these businesses really to go off the ground is start with the most expensive version first. So you want to build your sports car first, and then you can go and offer these other tiers. So I'm a huge fan of doing this exact same strategy, but in the digital product consulting space. And let me explain to you really quickly why this is just so much better than what most other people do. So I see a lot of people who try to get into like the digital product online business world. And what they do, like keeping in mind, we want to get to $15K a month. Now, if we do that with a high ticket offer, let's say it's like $3,000 or $5,000, we need 3 or 5 clients a month in order to hit our goal. And that gets us through the escape velocity of needing to do this part-time, doing this on the side, whatever it is, and it can actually become a full-time thing. Versus what I see a lot of other people do, which is like they're out there trying to sell like $27 ebooks or $100 little mini courses, and you need a ton of volume in order to make that work. So if you don't already have like some kind of big online presence or something going on there, then what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to generate a lot of attention for your brand. You're gonna have to convert a lot more people. And then you're gonna need to manage a lot more customers in order to make this work. Versus like, again, if we just start with high ticket, if we can think about how can we put together like a $3,000 or $5,000 offer that someone would be excited to pay about and they would get a ton of value from it. Then again, we only need a couple of clients every single month in order to hit our goals. And if we start with our sports car first, then we can always build the more affordable versions of what we do later. And we can make it more scalable and more streamlined as we go. But again, we're just trying to get that escape velocity in the very beginning. We're just trying to sprint to $15K a month. So it's like start with your sports car first. A couple of things happen when you start with your sports car version first. Is one, it is way easier to build a relationship with your customers because you're actually probably talking with them, you're working with them on a regular basis for a period of time. It is also, because of that, way easier to get feedback on your product or your service and what you're delivering and the kinds of results that you get and the way that people receive it, so you can improve your product and just have a much better product or service that you're putting out there, which again, also very important having a good business these days. And the last one, it's way easier to get like proof and case studies from your customers. And so as you're driving results and as you're getting people results, it's much easier to document that because again, you're probably having some kind of interaction with your customers and you can use that to go sell future customers, which is a super valuable thing to have online these days. So now that hopefully we understand why we want to do high ticket, let's talk about how you can identify what your highest value skills are and like where you could actually go out and put together something where someone would actually pay you $3,000, $5,000 to help learn how to do that or do that thing. And so What's worked really well for me is selling to companies, but you can also do this selling to individuals. So I always look for like growing in demand industries where people have money to spend and businesses or people are actively looking for these services. Let me give you some examples. Companies spend tons of money on advertising. Companies spend tons of money on content creation. Companies spend tons of money on like AI automation, operations, all that sort of thing. Companies spend tons of money on hiring. So if you have like professional experience with any of these things, you could absolutely put together a package or a service where someone would pay you $3,000, $5,000 for these things. On the other side, let's say you want to do something more personal. People spend tons of money to lose weight and be healthy. People spend a lot of money on their relationships. People also spend a lot of money on hobbies. So like people spend a lot of money to learn how to do golf. People spend a lot of money to learn how to snowboard. All of these are things where I personally know people or have friends that have online education consulting businesses that are teaching all of these skills. I actually have a friend who has like a really big online snowboarding platform. So like they teach people how to snowboard, and every year they just get a huge boost of sales once winter rolls around and a bunch of people want to learn how to snowboard. I actually found my first offer because I was just digging around in all these online businesses and seeing what they were doing and how they did things. And that's how I came across advertising. And I've always been like a very like computer spreadsheets kind of tech nerdy dude. And so it just kind of like stood out to me as like, oh man, like I could do this. This aligns with a lot of my skills and things that I'm naturally interested in. It's a little bit more technical, like numbers based. And so I bought books on Amazon, started reading them, learned the basics, and then turned around and went to companies and started selling that service. And now, like 10 years later, I've made a ton of money on the internet just offering advertising to people. And it's kind of been the thing that sprouted out my entire online journey, just learning this one skill, which turned into a ton of different ones over time. One other interesting one, just because I think once people see what the opportunities are out there, you're like, oh man, I didn't even realize that was possible. But it's like I worked with a girl for years who she had a group that was like a women empowerment community, and people would pay thousands of dollars a year to be a part of this community. And they would meet up a couple times a year. They would do like online events. So like she just built a community for people to hang out in. And that became a place that was like a very profitable online business for her. And she would teach them all kinds of stuff. She'd bring in a lot of guest speakers. So it's like, there's so many opportunities out there. And I think what a lot of people get caught up into is they see a lot of other people doing what they want to do. And so they think it's too competitive and they don't want to get in it. I think that's a bad mindset, because when you see a lot of people doing what you want to do, that means there's a market of people who are already out there every single day spending money on the thing that you want to be doing. And so that's a great thing. That means if you can come out there and you can put together some good marketing and a good offer and just go out there and be persistent and start to get some results for people, or like start to get clients and get results, like you can start to take a portion of those people who are already spending money and looking for the thing that you're doing every day. Once you've like identified what this thing is, the next thing that I see that holds a lot of people back is they think they need a lot of complicated things in order to actually go sell this thing. But I'm going to break it down super simple, because way back in the day, absolutely it was a thing where we were building websites and doing blogging and SEO and all this stuff and trying to rank stuff. We don't do any of that anymore. So if you look in the description just below this video, you'll see what my one page is. And this is all you need, is just one page. It's a page that has a video at the top that explains exactly what you can do for people and how you can help them. Below that, it just kind of outlines a little bit exactly what they get. And then any testimonials or case studies or social proof or anything like that, you want to have that below all of that stuff. So again, check out the example of mine just below this video. But like that is all you need in this day and age in order to get all of this going. And you can absolutely get to 15K a month with just that one single page. Because again, all it's doing is just being, I mean, look at mine. It's very direct about exactly what I can do for people. There's nothing fancy. There's no marketing magic. It's not a bunch of fancy words. I didn't need to become like a copywriter in order to do this. It just tells people exactly what I do for people. What do you get if we work together? What are a bunch of the results that I've gotten for other people? And then like, what are the next steps if you want to talk about moving forward with this? So you can check that out just down below there, but like that's all you need. One thing I would even add on top of that, which is a really good idea, is if you don't have any social proof, you're just getting started. You're coming from zero. You have nothing. The thing you can do is you can borrow social proof. And by borrow social proof, I don't mean steal other people's case studies and testimonials. What I mean is, let's say you are teaching people about becoming gluten-free and how like that's going to help them be really healthy. You're going to become like, you want to be a health coach and you want to teach people like the gluten-free kind of lifestyle because you've seen really good results of that, and that's really important for you. One, if you're your own best case study, you can put your story on there. But two, there's tons of articles and research and all kinds of stuff out there about why this would be beneficial for people. So by borrowing the proof from those articles and from those resources, you can use that on your page in order to say like, hey, look, here's proof that this thing works. Maybe it's not proof that you've done it yet, but at least you have some proof that it works out there. Same thing with like, if you're going to teach people how to use AI to launch a SaaS product. You know, maybe you don't have actual consulting clients yet, and so you haven't actually like done this with other people. But again, if you have your own, you're your best case study. And if not, but this is just a skill you have because maybe, I don't know how, whatever, you got this skill somehow, and this is what you're going to do. You can use proof of other people who have used AI to build these SaaS businesses. And then you can just have their stories on there, and you don't have to say that you did that for them, but you're just, again, you're borrowing proof from the internet and putting that on your page. And then as you get your own proof, you can add it on there. That's always a really good little tip. But again, it's just one simple page. That's all it needs to be. There doesn't need to be anything more than that. And then your job from here on out just becomes to get as many people to that page as possible. Now, in order to get as many people to that page as possible, there's really only two options. Either you're going to make content or you're going to run ads. And ideally, at some point, you're probably just going to do both. Making content, pretty straightforward. You pick your favorite platform. I obviously love YouTube. I make YouTube videos all the time. Some people like Instagram because that's more their style. Some people see that their people, are more professional. They spend more time on LinkedIn, whatever it is. And so they spend time on LinkedIn, whatever it is, you just pick one platform and you just start posting there every single day. And if you've never done it before, it's just like a muscle. Like it's a skill, it's a muscle. It's just something that you get better at over time. And so what you can do is just start posting there every day. And the thing that you're always driving people to is your one page. If you look at all my videos here on YouTube, there's one link at the top of every description and it's my page, right? Like I'm just making content and driving people to the page. I'm practicing exactly what I preach here. But you can do that. The other thing you can do is you can learn to run ads, which I think running ads is great. I run ads for all my clients and I've made my clients boatloads of money. We've done millions of dollars in sales running ads. It works really, really well. And I think a lot of people have like a fear and aversion to running ads, but once you understand how it works, it's extremely effective. And I can tell you, again, taking out all the complication and stuff, one of the most effective ways to run ads, and the thing that we always start with, is just run an ad that basically says, hey, I have this thing for sale. Do you want to buy it? Because there's this idea that like, in any market, if you're selling something that people regularly buy, that means there's people out there who are already looking for that service and are interested in buying it. And you'd be surprised at how great these social media algorithms are finding those people. So if you run an ad that says, going back to the health coaching example, hey, are you trying to go gluten-free? I have a new coaching program where I'm teaching people how to go gluten-free. Here's what I'm going to do for you. Just running that ad will get in front of people who are already looking at going gluten-free. And so the idea that you could get, again, 3 to 5 customers a month is very realistic if you'll run ads. And if you'll run ads and make content on a regular basis and just get into this rhythm of like, hey, every month I'm making, a few new videos, I'm posting them on YouTube, I'm running them as ads, whatever it is, like that becomes a machine that really starts to pick up momentum over time. And getting to 3 to 5 clients a month is like, very realistic at that stage. I've actually got a client, we just set all of this up for him about 2 months ago. So the first month that we worked together, he was actually just building all this out. So he was building out his little one page. He was getting all of his stuff ready, all of those things. And then we launched ads the next month. He did $20,000 a month from his ads in the first month. And then he actually had a little audience. So we ended up doing $50,000 a month total in the first month of working together. And that's what's possible when you have one of these types of offers. I think they were selling like a $3,000 offer and they did $50,000 in the first month. So this is very realistic. And it's just like, it's a very straightforward path once you just know exactly what to do and you know what to focus on. So now here's where a lot of people get really scared. And I see a lot of people not want to move forward on this step, but I think this is actually one of the most important parts, especially when you're getting started, which is getting on the phone and talking to people and selling them over the phone. So I hear a lot of people who are always like apprehensive because they either don't want to be on the phone or they don't have time to be on the phone is what they say, or whatever it is. In the very beginning, especially when you're starting an online business like this, One of the most challenging parts for a lot of people, especially if you're trying to sell online without talking to people, is a lot of times what you're doing isn't working, but you don't know why it's not working because all you're doing is looking at numbers on a screen. You're like, you've got your website statistics up here and you're like, oh man, I see 50 people went to my sales page and none of them bought. I wonder why. Because you just don't know. But so when you talk to people on the phone and sell people over the phone, which again is just a skill that anybody can learn, is you start to get direct feedback from the market about like, what did they see in your marketing that they liked about yours? What are the problems that they're having? What is it that they've tried before that they're not doing, that's not working for them? What other competitors are they looking at and why are they looking at them? What did they hear from those competitors that they think is really interesting that they didn't hear from you? What are the hesitations they have? All of this stuff becomes the most amazing feedback loop where just every single week you're getting to talk to people in your market who are actually shopping for what you're selling. And it is an incredible way to learn and to understand and to come up with good content ideas and to come up with better ways to understand like how you can improve your one-page little sales mechanism with your video at the top. Because the better you understand your market and the better you can speak the language of these people and the better you can understand what are the other things out there, the easier it's going to be for you to sell it. And so again, you can use these insights to improve everything you're doing across all of your stuff. And also, I have found that especially on the internet, it's quite easy to like sell people to get on a phone call with you. Like if you set up everything that I just talked about, like getting people on the phone with you is pretty easy. And so again, from there, getting 3 to 5 people to sign up every single month to get to our 15K goal, very realistic. And I can also tell you, like going from not making any money online to getting the first time that someone deposits like 3K into your bank account is a absolutely life-changing moment. Once you get all of this stuff set up and you actually see it working and you're like, I can't tell you how many times like we've set all this stuff up. We started running some ads for someone. And then I remember I had a guy who called me one time because we set all this stuff up. We started running ads for him. And then within like 15 or 20 minutes, he got a lead that came in that was super well qualified and they had booked a call for later that day. And he was like, man, is this real? Like I'm looking at this person's, information and like, this looks too good to be true. Did you pay someone to like go through and sign this up? And I'm like, no, dude, that's just someone online who's like actually looking for what you have to sell. And he had a conversation with that guy and it went incredible. And he was just mind blown because like within a few hours of setting up his ads, he had this, like he was starting to see how this all worked. Like, oh, I put this out there, people find it because I'm running ads to it. People don't just find it on their own. Like I'm making content, running ads to it. People are finding it because of that. Then I'm getting on the phone with these really good people. And then he started selling people. And it was like, it's a life-changing moment once you start to see this machine in action. And once you start to get people that you just met online to deposit this kind of money into your bank account. And now again, because we started with that sports car version first, that most expensive thing, again, most of that margin is for you. So you get to keep most of that money to help you deliver for your clients. Which brings me to I think one of my most important parts for long-term success with all of this is if you want to be successful with this, you have to absolutely over-deliver for your clients. I think this is one of the things that really makes a huge difference for the businesses that I see stick around for a long time and the ones that don't. And also, it just, the reality is a lot of people sell what you sell, which again is not a bad thing. But while you'll be able to go find out a ton of people who do what you do, like again, there's a bunch of people online who do what I do, but nobody has the proof that I have. Like nobody has the case studies and testimonials. Nobody's worked with the same clients and gotten the same results. So that by itself, as it starts to grow, becomes your differentiator. Like the results that you've actually gotten people become the thing that help you stand out. And again, if we start with our most expensive version first, so that we can really focus all of our time and energy and we feel excited to just keep growing this thing and keep getting great results for our clients, that proof becomes the thing that really helps you stand out and helps you sell. Because again, when someone comes to you and they're like, hey, I want you to, hey, I heard you do this thing. I want you to help me get this result. And you can say like, oh my gosh, I actually just helped someone exactly like you. And here's the 3 steps we took them through and the exact results we got them. Like that becomes an absolute game changer. So the one last thing I would say with all of this that has really helped me throughout this entire process is as I have gone through and just done all of this over and over again for clients and help them get results, one thing that I've gotten really good at is just simply keeping really good like checklists about the stuff that I do to help people get results. So all the stuff that I do, I have lots of like checklists in a Google Drive folder on what I do. And that's been really good because one, that helps me easily and repeatedly do the same thing over and over again for people and quickly get them the results that they wanted. 2, I actually like sell that information to other people. So again, my business is built off of a portion of people just pay me to do stuff for them. And there's a portion of people who don't want to pay me to do it for them, or, for whatever reason, they're not big enough or whatever it is, but they pay me to advise them how I do this stuff for the other people. So it's really just like a feedback loop that keeps running. And then on the last side is like, I also have used those checklists now to like train people on my team to do the things that I do. And so now I have people working for me, helping me deliver those results. Over time, all of that became something that, was like that built up over many, many years. But at the end of the day, it all started just by being conscious about like, okay, I'm going to be basically promoting this thing and I'm just selling people into it. And then the other part of my time is going to be delivering it. And so as I'm delivering it, I just want to try to be more systematized. And it really comes down to like very simple checklists that just show people, hey, what do you need to do? How do you need to do that? And then what do you need to do when you're done with that? I mean, everything's pretty much a step-by-step process at some point. Okay, so let's do a quick little recap, and then I'm going to share with you like what I think is probably the coolest part of all of this. So first step one is we're just going to identify like a high value skill or talent that you have that you can either do for other people or teach other people how to do. Then what you're going to do is put together a simple one-page website. Again, you can see mine example just below this video, but it's like a video that tells people what you can do for them, a little page that, outlines it all out, and then all of the social proof you have. And if you don't have actual proof for yourself, you can borrow proof that like what you're talking about works. And then as you start to get case studies and testimonials, add those onto the page. Then we just need to get as many people to that page as possible. That could be through making content. That could be through running ads. It could be both. Both are great options. Both work really well. And I do both. So I think it's awesome. Then we actually want to talk to people on the phone and sell them into your thing. So that is just one of the absolute most effective way to do it. And especially when you're just getting started, getting that actual feedback from people that you're talking to online is incredible. Then we want to over deliver on what we're saying we can do for people so we can generate testimonials and case studies. And then that proof becomes the thing that differentiates us from everybody else. And it just becomes a cycle. And if we can do that and we can just get 3 to 5 clients a month, that is how we can like sprint to this 15K a month mark. Now, one of the things that I think is the coolest about all of this, and like one of the things that I just absolutely love all about this, is when you have your business and your life set up, when you choose to like set your life up in this way, the thing is, any investment that you ever make in yourself just becomes something that helps you make more money. So like, I can't tell you how many times and how much money I've spent on coaches, mentors, courses, books, seminars, weekend retreats, masterminds, all of this stuff over the last 10 years. I have spent a ton of money and a ton of time on it. The thing is, I get to meet really cool people. I get to level up as a human being. Like I get to learn all these cool new skills, do all this cool new stuff. I get to go to cool places, all these things. And then I turn around and that just helps me grow my business. And it's this really rewarding, incredible, self-fulfilling thing of like, I invest in myself to level myself up. And then that helps me generate results for everybody that I work with. And so then, they make more money. I make more money. And so then I'm encouraged to just go level myself up again. And then that same cycle repeats. I go there, make them more money, which in turn makes me more money, which means I get to invest in myself to level myself up. And it's just this like continuously learning growth cycle that is super rewarding. And if you can build your business around something that you really love doing, like I love this online business stuff. I just think this is the coolest thing that we can make videos like this, post them on the internet and make money. And like, I love helping people do this. And so it's super fun for me to spend my days doing all of this. Now, if you love business or whatever it is, you could do that. If you love health, you could do that. If you have a hobby or something that you love, like golf, you could do that. And then again, anytime you're investing in leveling up your skills in that area becomes the thing that helps you get your people better results, which gets them the results they want, which means they're willing to pay you more money, which means you're encouraged to go level up your results. Like, I mean, it's amazing. So I just think that's what I love about all of this is it just creates this cycle of personal growth that is super rewarding. So hopefully, again, remember, if there are other people in your space who are making money, that means you could do it too. You just need to convince a small percentage of those people to work with you over the other competitors in the market. And that really like life-changing number is, again, 3 to 5 clients that are paying you 3 to 5K a month gets you to 15K a month. And for most people, 15K a month is like a very life-changing number that starts to drive like a very significant impact in their business. So again, you can do this for business, health, relationships, hobbies, all kinds of stuff. You just need to find other people in the market who are doing it and then just make that one simple page where you tell people what you're going to do for them. Get as many people to that page as possible. And if you do that right, like at least you'll be talking to people and hearing about what is it that they like? What is it they don't like? What are they hearing from other competitors? What are they not hearing from you? And once you have that feedback, then you can just improve things as you go. And like the feedback loop has started. So that's it. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you are into like digital products, selling high ticket stuff online, I have a ton of videos on this channel probably popping up, I think over here on my face this way, about all this kind of stuff. And I get into the really like nerdy technical details and all of those things. Otherwise, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe. Drop any questions down in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day out there and I hope to catch you in another video soon.